y'all, it's Mama Beth and I'm back in the kitchen, and I think I'm going to do my first real story time. Now, I tell stories and talk about different things all through my videos, but I've never done one that's just about what I've been through or what has happened or a story. And I like watching story time videos from other people. You know, to me it's always interesting. I love it hearing about other people's experiences and things that have happened to them. But I wanted to share something with you all, and it makes me smile every Christmas. It makes me a little sad, but it gets my heart. Back when I was in my mid-30s, and I'm not going to give dates, I took care of my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, for 4 years. I wouldn't let them put her in a nursing home. She wanted to stay in her own home. And I said, you know what? I'll give up my job, whatever. Then I sold my stuff and business, and it was a lot. But anyway, I said, I'm going to take care of her. Well, I took care of her 24/7, other than a few times when she was admitted to the hospital. And even then, I have slept on the hospital floor because she did not want me to leave her. There wasn't even a chair in the room, and I have literally slept on the hard floor. But I don't regret taking care of her one little bit. I wasn't, the family, I don't think was as appreciative of me and, you know, what I was doing. But you know what, that doesn't matter. I did something good for my grandmother, who spoiled me and loved me. You're our only granddaughter. I'd hear that all the time. Well, anyway, let's get to my story. When I started taking care of her, she was able to walk with a walker, but you could tell that she was having signs of dementia, or early onset Alzheimer's. You know, they can't give you an absolute diagnosis of Alzheimer's, or they couldn't then until you've actually passed away, and then they check out your brain and weight and all that. Anyway, that's just too much. Anyway, so she wasn't remembering things, and it was getting hard. Well, then she had a couple of falls. Even with me, I always walked behind her, and she just gave out. Her knees just gave out. She had rheumatoid arthritis, and so after 6 months, she was bedridden. And she had a beautiful room, and we got our hospital bed so she could sit up, and she had a huge TV in there, and she loved to watch all sorts of different shows. I'd have to come and change the channel for her because her hands were like this, and I would have to try to wash in. You literally could not uncurl her fingers. Her RA was so bad. And of course, that's where mine comes from. I inherited that, unfortunately. But I took care of her and spent time with her. We would sit and talk, but in the evenings, I would want to watch my shows, and she would get sleepy early, and there wasn't anything that I liked watching on TV, like regular shows, that she really enjoyed. But that Christmas, it was the second Christmas I was with her. This movie, Elf, came on TBS. I believe it was TBS. And I was sitting there, I was crocheting an Afghan at the time, and I said, oh, this is supposed to be funny, Dee Dee, let's watch it. Now, Dee Dee's what I call my grandmother. And she said, well, what is it? And I said, it's a funny movie. And she's like, okay. And, she would say things wrong sometimes, but I knew what she meant. It was like another language. Like, she would call the window, the door, and she just had different words for things. She couldn't think of the right word, and she would call it something else, but I knew what she was saying. Anyway, I said, you're gonna laugh at this. And she's like, okay. And it was real hard to get her to watch a movie before this. She'd say, turn that off, I'm tired of it. Well, she watched Elf, and she laughed. She said, look at that man in them yeller. She had a really country accent. She'd say, look at that man in them yeller tights. He looks like a fool. He is acting a fool. What's he doing eating that? Look at what he's done. She was so excited throughout that movie. And I was loving it because she was really happy. It was hard on her, you know, with just me there as company. She got bored, but oh Lord, after she watched this movie, I said, if she likes, you know, more kid type movies, I'm going to load up. So this was back before Netflix and all that stuff. So I would get the neighbor to watch her for a minute. I'd run to town and I'd go to Blockbuster. I got Shrek, which she called him the big thing with the ears. That green thing with the ears. And we watched all the Shrek movies. We watched Dreamgirls. And she said, boy, those colored girls can sing. And I said, Dee, you can't say colored. She'd say, yes, I can. I'm being nice. And I'd say, no, you can't. You can't. But when, you know, she passed away when she was 83. But she loved these movies. She loved Dreamgirls. She loved the Shrek movies. She didn't like anything that was like serious or action, but oh my goodness, it was like she found a new thing to love. You know, she really got into it. And now, since, you know, she passed away 2008, and it like killed me. I've told you I don't handle grief well. I fell apart. But Elf, come on. She died September 11th. And so, of course, when the holiday season came, Elf was on TV. And I bawled through the whole thing. Every time it come on, I'd have to watch it and I'd cry. But it's gotten easier. And now I went ahead and I ordered the DVD. You know, I could always find it on TV before, but last year we couldn't find it. I got real upset, and I think I rented it through Amazon Prime or something. And anyway, but this year we got the DVD. And Dee Dee, if you're out there watching, I hope you're laughing every time I play it, because there's nothing better than finding something that makes you joyful and happy. And yeah, so that's how I turned my grandma into a lover of children's holiday movies and children's classics. That was such an enjoyable thing to do with her. I loved it. And I miss her every time. You know, I use her kitchen utensils. You know, I made biscuits the other day, and it was her biscuit cutter. I sifted flour. It was her sifter. So many things remind me of her. And I don't cry anymore like I used to. I smile. And I remember the good times. And if I cook something that she loved to eat, and I'll mention it. You know, this was one of Dee Dee's favorites. And my husband will say, well, she had good taste. She liked it and I like it too. Or, you know, but we'll talk about her and funny things that she said and different things that she did. But yeah, it's, you know, she taught me so much. During those 4 years, you know, it was hard. I got kind of agoraphobic because where I couldn't go out and go anywhere, I didn't have any relief. Nobody came in and watched her overnight. It was me. And I got a break once. Well, I got a break to go to my friend's wedding in New Jersey, my best friend. That was 9 days. And then when I had surgery, I got a break for 2 days. But out of 4 years, that's all that I was ever away from her. And we developed an even closer bond than I had with her when I was a little girl. You know, and she spoiled me. I mean, she bought me a fur coat when I was 9. Then I know everybody's all vegan and everything, but we like fur. Sorry, we eat meat, we like fur. She bought me a fur coat and it was gorgeous. And then she bought me another one when I was in the 10th grade and we still have it. And she bought me a Singer Junior sewing machine and taught me how to sew. She taught me how to cook. I spent a whole summer learning how to make biscuits from scratch because she makes the best biscuits you've ever had. I mean, you know how everybody says Hardee's has the best biscuits around? No, my Dee Dee's are better. Anyway, but staying with her those 4 years, she told me stories from when she was growing up and, you know, how she met my grandfather and different things that happened to her and to other members of the family. I got a lot of family history. And I journaled the entire time. And when everybody's dead, and nobody's left to get offended, I might publish it. But she told me a lot of stuff. She might have been losing, you know, her cognitive abilities as time went on, but her memory was great. And she really opened my eyes to so many things. And that was the hardest 4 years of my life, but it was a blessing. And I hope that somewhere she's looking down and she's happy with me, because I wouldn't change a thing. Anyway, that's me reminiscing about my grandmother, watching Elf at Christmas time, and watching Shrek, and I think there were 3 Shrek movies that she watched with me, and she wanted to watch them over and over again. I'd have to keep renting them. She loved them. Yeah. So that's my Christmas story about my Dee Dee. I'll be back and I'll do some more story times. I hope you enjoyed this. Now, I love you. You love you. Merry Christmas. Whoop. Go watch Elf. You'll laugh. Bye.